Hello, everyone. Welcome to Remote STEM class. Mr. Dowd here. Hope everyone had a fantastic Tuesday. I'm just going to quickly get back into the national parks because, as you can tell, it takes a little bit of time to go through each one. So I did Arcadia and Arches. Now I'm on to the Badlands. So the Badlands are in South Dakota. So Big Badlands Overlook. So this is a lot of salt flats almost. Well, sorry, not salt flats, but a lot of salt. That's what it looks like. I'm not really sure. But you can see the years of erosion because of the layers. It's beautiful. So door trailhead, this looks like a trail that walks along the cliff. Yep, or in the middle of it. These are all places I want to visit someday. So that's my plan. Cliff Shelf Nature Trailhead. So there's obviously a lot of hiking trails in the Badlands National Park. Another visitor center, we can just skip over that. But again, if you ever do go to these places, going to the visitor centers are very useful to do because you'll learn a lot of interesting stuff about the area. There's another overlook. So fossil exhibit. So obviously they found fossils somewhere in this area. Yellow Mounds overlook. Wow, look at that. So you got the gray and the red and then the yellow. So something like this, you could, if you 3D modeled one of these, you could use the multi-tool color and have all the layers showing, which will look awesome. Like almost like a little river going through. Actually, there's a little river. You can see the water there. Pinnacles Overlook. Oh, I guess this is Pinnacles Overlook. And last but not least, Robert Prairie Dog Town. So, this is an interesting thing. So you see all this wide open space? This is where a bunch of prairie dogs live. So that is a prairie dog. I don't know a lot about those animals. I do know that they live underground though, and they come up and so underground there's all these holes that are all connected. It's a big web. Like if you ever seen a ant farm, like a sideways ant farm, so you can see all the nooks and crannies of it. That's a very similar thing. All right, so that was the North Dakota Badlands, or sorry, South Dakota Badlands National Park. Yeah, so more things to see. All right, guys, that's all I'm going to do for today. So everyone can go have a fantastic Wednesday. I'll see you guys tomorrow on Thursday. Bye.
Hey Gators, today I'm going to take some extra apples that I have and make apple chips. So sometimes you can use these mandolins to make them really thin like you would with potatoes, but these apples are kind of soft, so I have to do it really thin with slicing it. So I'm doing this because I have extra apples and honestly I want to use them up. I'm gonna put them just like I did with the plantains last week. I'm gonna put them on a sheet like this, and I'm slicing them really thin as I can without the mandolin. I'm gonna lay them down flat. I'm not gonna have them on top of each other. So I will put a little bit of cinnamon on here, and then I'm going to cook them for about 20 minutes or so. They're going to shrink up. And then if you leave them, they will harden up, so they're kind of like a chip. They have a crunch to them. So these are really thin, so that's good. The ones that are a little thick, this one's kind of a thick one, might take longer to cook. This is with 2 apples. And this is something, if, you know what, sometimes I buy something and I don't want to eat it. Like as an apple. I don't want to waste it, so I'll do something like this. Yeah, so. You can do this with pretty much any fruit, I would think. That's crispy anyway. And you can also use the air fryer. So, all right, so now I'm gonna get the cinnamon. I'm gonna put this on top. So look like this going in the oven. I'm gonna put them in the oven for about, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 minutes. I'll keep an eye on them. When they start to look crispy and brown, that you'll be able to tell. And you can't really overcook or undercook them. If you did that, it would just be either softer or crispier. You know, they're not gonna go bad either way. So, I just cut my hand with a knife. So I'm gonna go take care of that and put these in the oven. Okay, so they're done. So I let them sit. So right now they're a little mushy. But if you actually flip them, because they have cinnamon on one side, and get the extra cinnamon off, and then they can see, like these really thin ones, if you let them sit here, they're gonna harden up like a chip. So, and then you can just do what you did last week. Like I did last week with the chips, I put them in a container, or you can just leave them and eat them later. Put them in a little baggie and make a little nice little snack. It's very healthy for you, and it keeps you full longer. And it's just a different way to have apple. Oh, this is a nice crunchy one. Right here. So good. And they make your house smell so good. Sometimes I just want a different apple. I want something different with apples or fruit than just eating them plain. So you got to get creative, right? To stay healthy. All right, guys. Those are your apple chips. Yum, yum. See you next time.
Hey, Gators. Welcome back to Language and Play. All right, we're going to start with a little game. We are going to start with face wash today. So instead of our vocal warm-up, we're going to warm up our face. All right, so my first emotion is going to be joyful. So I start with a neutral face. Wash it up. I'm showing joy, happiness, right? I can feel it in my voice. I can feel it in my face. I can feel it everywhere. Joy. Next emotion, anger. I can almost feel my face getting red. My teeth are clenched. I feel my muscles get a little tighter. I'm feeling angry, depressed. I can feel the energy leaving my body. I feel it in my face. I feel it in my soul. Ugh. Sorrow. Feel it in the way I breathe, in the way I talk, and how my eyes almost get a little welled up. It's an overwhelming feeling, really. All right. So we try and get into these emotions because we want to put these emotions into the characters that we're portraying. All right. This week, you are portraying a character who is the Tooth Fairy, right? Pixie the Tooth Fairy. So you can make Pixie a boy or a girl, doesn't matter. All right. But you are Pixie the Tooth Fairy, all right? And you're irritated. All right. So it's a comedic monologue. You're having fun. But sometimes the emotion that you have to present is what makes the audience laugh. It's not necessarily funny for you. All right, so play with different emotions. Look for opportunities in the script to use those different emotions. All right, and again, Friday, we are going to be recording on Flipgrid. Can't wait to see what you come up with, Gators. Keep up the good work.
Hey guys, today we're going to continue with our Women's History Month and our focus on artist Yayoi Kusama, not Yayoi. She is well known for creating beautiful images like this one with a lot of broken, fragmented shapes and her specialty signature shape, that polka dot. Here again is a beautiful drawing, bright, vibrant color. Those polka dots are there again. Okay, she also was well known for creating those installations that we talked about. So the installation is 3D forms in a space. So the artwork itself is like a space where you can actually walk through. So you're walking through this art installation. Here's another one. I love this one. So it's artwork that you can actually walk through and really experience it. Here's some sculptures that she made. Those polka dots are prevalent through many of her pieces. So here is Yayoi Kusama, the Japanese artist, in her installation. So what we're going to do today is, hopefully you drew a sketch of either an installation of from your imagination, or you just drew some images and maybe put some repeated shapes in there, or some polka dots, like Yayoi. So here she is wearing polka dots, I love it, with all these polka dots around her inside an art space that she created. It's an installation. Here she is again, I love her. And here's another one. So think of it as like artwork that you can kind of experience by walking through. There she is again, in her polka dots. Look at that room. Look at that one. It's pretty interesting. I love that. She was like obsessed with pumpkins too. So I actually drew a picture that I'm still working on here. So I just started it. So if you decided to just make a drawing with some repeated shapes or some polka dots in it, what you might want to do if you have a Sharpie is create your repeated shapes, whether they're polka dots or another kind of shape that you like. But you might want to do that first with the Sharpie, and then you can apply color over it, especially if you have crayons or colored pencils. The Sharpie pens are water-based, and if you try to draw on top of a waxy-based medium, it might not come out as nicely as drawing it first right directly on the paper, because the wax resists that water marker, the marker with the water in it. They don't mix well. So you might want to just draw your dots first, your polka dots, or whatever little shapes you want to repeat. You can do like fragmented shapes, you could do squares, you could do rectangles. I'm going to stick with those polka dots, just like Yayoi Kosama. So you can draw whatever you'd like, add polka dots or repeat shapes of your choice, and then add some color to it. So I'm going to continue on, I'm going with this polka dots. So I'm going to continue making polka dots in all my pumpkin shapes, and then I'm going to add color. And then I'll think about what I want to do in the background. Now, if you chose to do an installation, you're going to start with a paper and a pencil, and you might want to create a room first. So you want to kind of establish the look of a room, and then you can fill it with different forms and make it look like an installation. So to make it look like a room, and we've done something similar to this before, you just want to kind of start by making some lines starting in the corner and coming into the center of your paper. Doesn't have to be perfect. So you're just going to make some lines coming from all the corners, going into the center of your paper. Then we're going to make what's going to be the back wall. Some of you guys may remember this from when we were working with 1-point perspective drawings. But you don't have to worry too much about that. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you just want to establish the look of an interior of a room, some kind of room. It's not perfect, doesn't have to be. I'm just going to erase these lines here. So now I have my space where I can add some interesting shapes and create the look of one of those installations that Yayoi Kusama created. So here's my room. And I really liked that picture that she created. Let's see if I can find it again, because I think I want to copy it a little bit. So, not this one, sort of like this one, similar to this one. Kind of like those shapes there. Where is it? Let me find it. Where is it? There, this one. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to kind of copy that a little bit because I love it. I think it's amazing. So I'm going to start off by making some of those shapes and make them appear like they're on the ground here. So I'm going to just do some cool shapes coming up. So in the end, it will look like a room that has some interesting art inside of it. Then I'm going to erase some of those first lines I made. And it looks like she's really got like these interesting shapes coming from all directions. They're kind of coming down from the ceiling. They're almost like growing up out of the floor. And she also used mirrors. So she has like a lot of mirrors on the walls to just make it seem like all these shapes are going on and on and on into infinity and just continue on and don't ever stop. So she used that trick of using mirrored walls. So maybe I make a reflection in the wall a little bit. So I just made kind of make it look like a reflection, like if there was mirrored walls. So I'm going to be working on my installation. If you chose to do an installation, so you're just going to make it look like some kind of a room first, and then you'll add the shapes that you like to create that look of three-dimensional installation art. All right, so I'm going to keep on working on mine. I can't wait to see if you chose to do an installation drawing or if you chose to just create your own image with some repeated shapes, maybe polka dots, just like Yayoi Kusama. Good luck, guys.
Welcome back to another episode of Virtual PE. I'm Miss Reading. All right, again, like I said, this week I'm doing the cardio. So the 3 cardios that we're going to do is 20 seconds each of air jump ropes, running in place, and jumping jacks. All right, and then Mr. Meme will work out your 2 muscles. So let's get a sweat on, guys.
All right, time for another workout. Today we're going to work our pecs, which is our chest, and our lats, which is our back. Okay, got your band. I'll show you the exercises before we get going. Okay, first you're going to sit on your band. Okay, right underneath you. Okay, grab your band. Okay, and we're going to do what's called a Pec Deck. Okay, hands up and you squeeze in your chest. Squeeze your chest. After that, take your band, put on your feet. You're just going to do some rows. Elbows in and pull just like you're rowing a boat. Okay? Take a minute, get your band, get set, and we'll get going.
Jumping jack.
for watching Enrichment TV, Gators. Remember, work hard, be nice, and we'll see you tomorrow.